The transformative potential of technology innovations in driving economic growth, social impact, and global competitiveness cannot be understated. With concerted effort from government, industry stakeholders, and civil society, Nigeria can harness the power of education to unlocking possibilities, drive innovation growth, and impact lives of citizens. Meanwhile, technology innovation has been identified as a critical tool across levels of education, especially in the tertiary institutions, to enhancing skills acquisition pursuit, aimed at promoting wealth and job opportunities across the country. In Nigeria, technology innovation is embraced at all levels and on all fronts to achieving sustainable impact across sectors. However, experts have raised concern on how to continuously improve accessibility to technological advances in order to strengthen nations to solving the challenges and opportunities available for all. And so today on the program, Dr. Abdul-Malik Usman Bello, the Dean of Science and Mathematics Department of the African University of Science and Technology, AUST, is joining me after the panel to discuss the topic we captioned as Advancing Technology Innovations Towards National Development. We'll be right back.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be wielded by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
We are so glad to have you join us in this interesting episode of your program, The Economy and Inside Agriculture. And we are taking a look at how technological innovation can help us to improve our well-being. And my guest, as I mentioned earlier, is the Dean of Science and Technology, Science and Mathematics Department of the Abuja, African University of Science and Technology in Abuja. My guest is Dr. Abdul-Malik Bello. Doctor, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Dr. Abdul Malik, the Abuja, why am I calling it Abuja? The African University of Science and Technology here in Abuja.
Yes.
Is known and assumed to be a technological innovation-based university around us here. What makes it stand out over and above other universities and tertiary institutions around it?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. And as you rightly said, my name is Usman Bello Abdul Malik, and I'm the acting dean of School of Science and Science Education. And I'm also the director of Mathematics Institute at the African University of Science and Technology. Good morning, all. So going back to your question, why AUST stands out. There are key features that AUST has that is quite different from other universities. The first one is the Pan-African nature of the African University of Science and Technology. Since its inception in 2007, we have graduated hundreds of MScs and PhDs from more than 20 African countries, including Ethiopia, Central African Republic, Sudan, Senegal, Gambia, Ghana, Cameroon, Chad, Niger Republic, and of course Nigeria. So you see, there is that, the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Yes, exactly. Secondly, the way we select our professors that come to teach at AUST is quite different from other universities.
How?
So what we do, if you take for instance mathematics, what we do, we have several courses in mathematics. So we have also different experts in these courses. So we look around the world and see which university has the best in such course. For instance, the Brazilians are known to be best in dynamical system. Dynamical system is a course in mathematics. So what AUST will do is to go to one of the best universities in Brazil and pick a professor there, and will come to Nigeria and teach not just Nigerians, African students that I have mentioned. Again, if you take material science and engineering, the WPI in the United States are known to be among the best that teach material science and engineering. So we go to such universities and also select the best to come and teach our students here. So you see, even the way we select our professors is quite different from other universities in Nigeria. And then thirdly, the selection process, admission selection process, is also different. Since 2009, almost 90% of our students were given full scholarships. Full scholarship. So even if you have first class, or the minimum you require, which is second class upper, you must sit for an entrance exam. With first class, if you fail to pass our entrance exam, you can't secure admission into AUST. But of course, in 2020, after COVID had struck, we sat down because we have to sustain the university, and we reviewed the admission requirements. So currently what we have as requirement is second class lower, though it varies with departments. Some require that if you have experience, maybe 5 years of experience, you can secure admission. So there are so many different features that AUST differs from other universities. I just give you a few.
Wow.
Yeah.
Until now, I did not know that the African University of Technology is a pan-African.
Yes, it is.
I thought you have students from around Nigeria,
no,
states
it's a
across Nigeria.
No,
okay. Now again, following up to the your response, we all know that technology innovation is key or exponential to the development of many economies of the world, including Nigeria. But the problem has been that some institutions that are supposedly to be a technological innovation-based university can only do that on paper and pen. When it comes to equipment and the needed tools to train the students on the need for improvement in technology innovations are not there. How true is that with your university? You tell us you have enough equipment to train people on technology and its initiatives?
Yeah, so from our name, African University of Science and Technology, AUST has a world-class lab, a $6 million lab.
Not on paper and pen?
Not on paper. If you go there, you will see our equipment.
Okay.
Yes, in AUST, it's a world-class lab built by the African Development Bank.
AFDB.
AFDB. So maybe we have not done enough sensitization to
enlightenment campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people do come from other universities, federal universities, to come to AUST to come and conduct their lab work and to go back. As far as I can remember, till last year, almost anybody that comes is almost free. But then, as I said, you have to sustain the university just to maintain, the equipment. So we started charging them, not something that is big.
Is it pocket friendly?
Exactly, yes, it is. So people do come from other universities to come and conduct their lab work. Secondly, AUST's research is not just on paper. Of course, we have very strong criteria, even for our lecturers, to maintain their position. You need to be publishing at least 2 research articles every year for you to remain in your position. This is not part of the promotion exercise, just for you to maintain your job. If you can't publish twice a year, and not just any publication, it has to be at least indexed in Scopus. The scientists know what I'm talking about. So that is just to maintain the fidelity and the integrity of our research at AUST. Now, the main issue you have raised is how you communicate your findings, to the larger community.
Yes, to the students.
Yes, to the students, and of course, if you want to take it to the market,
okay,
because that is all about technology and innovation.
Yeah.
If you can't bring up something that can help people around you
to improve their well-being economically.
Exactly. So currently, we are pushing, to make sure that this is being done, because we have a research policy which is built on what we call triple helix model, which means there is some collaboration between academia, policymakers, which is government, and then industry. So we also have what you call research advisory council, which helps to advise researchers on how to collaborate with the people in the industry, and how you can translate what you have found from university environment to the market. And we also have an innovation hub at AUST, where our young students, the undergraduate students, in their free time, they go there to acquire some skills. So it's not just what they learnt in class, just pure theory, but by the time they finish their program, it means they are also well equipped for the market.
All right, as we have observed, some universities are established for the purpose of profit making. You agree with me that there are some universities that are established for the purpose of profit making instead of knowledge impartation to students. How different is the AUST?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, AUST, since its inception in 2007 rather, but the first set started in 2009. 90% or more of our students were all on scholarship, all of them. And in the entrance exam, if you have female candidates who, gets pass mark, automatically, she gets full scholarship. But that was true till 2020, before COVID, because we apply for grants from different donors, like I mentioned, African Development Bank, World Bank, and other institutions that help us to get students on scholarship. So AUST basically is non-profit organization, because if you give students scholarship and the main revenue generation is from the tuitions, which we don't charge before 2020, but because of COVID, we have to make a small change in our policy. We are not charging something very high, because before 2020, what master's student will pay for 18 months is $15,000, which if you compute now is around 24 million naira. But we realize that we need more people to come and tap from the knowledge of people, the high experts we invite from outside. So we review the school fees downward, and now it's very, very affordable, because I think for postgraduate program now is around 1.8 million, which is 600,000 per semester. A semester is 6 months. So yes, some universities, they concentrate on revenue generation, but AUST is quite different, looking at our antecedents and how we have given scholarships out to students from Nigeria and Africa at large.
Okay, for the benefit of our audience, can you bring us to the understanding of how relevant technology innovation can be to a society or a country like Nigeria?
Yeah, so without science and technology, no country can develop. It's completely impossible. There is a way they categorize countries. You have developed countries. They are called developed countries because they are very, very far ahead in terms of science and technology. Nigeria is in the category of third world developing country.
Developing country.
Exactly. So if you really, really want to progress and and catch up with the world, I think we need to pay more attention to science and technology, so that not after 30 years of discovery of something that will be coming back to and we start jubilating and celebrating that we have a new technology in which some other people have already used it for more than 3 decades also. So I think it's something we really, really need to pay attention to. And as you said, we have many universities in Nigeria, I believe more than 150. But how do we translate the research we conduct in our universities to the market? That is also another problem, in which it's not just a government problem, the academia, the government, the industry, so many different stakeholders have to come together to see that we achieve this collaboration in such a way that we can have maximum development. So
how true can we say technology can help to reduce the unemployment situation in Nigeria?
Yeah, so the quickest way is is to equip our youths with skills that they can readily use to help themselves, and that will reduce the unemployment rate in the country. But you also have the long-term plan, which is to invest in education. We also need to industrialize the whole country, because when you say you want to collaborate between academia, the policy makers, and the industries, right, different industries, so you first need to have what it takes to have such industries in the country first. For instance, if you take the healthcare industry or the finance or other industries, you need them to be transport, exactly. You need them to be at a very high level where they can sustain themselves first, and then give grants to universities to also help them come up with solutions to their problems. But without that, I think we still have a very long way to go. Yeah.
All right. As the head of Department of Mathematics and Applied Science, you are the head of Department of Mathematics.
And I'm the head of Department Pure and Applied Mathematics.
Pure and Applied Mathematics. when you mention mathematics, you know what happens generally. Yeah, you know, a lot of people want to learn it.
There is pure mathematics, which is pure and naked. And then you have
the one that is general.
There is applied mathematics, the one that is nice, you know, is well dressed and so on and so forth.
Okay.
As I'm sitting down, an applied mathematician.
Okay. I can see that.
That I'm pure.
Pure and applied. Yes. This is what we call double horns. Double qualification in mathematics.
Yes.
What I want to bring out is the fact that in most cases, if not all, especially when it has to do with students, even at the secondary school level, when you mention maths, a lot of people, their belief is that this is the most difficult course.
Yes.
Little did they know that mathematics is one of the simplest course for me. That is my opinion, and that has been my experience throughout my educational career. Each time there is a course without mathematics, count me out. But once we see mathematics and you know, when we begin to look at formula for this and for that, I'm good. I'm very good to go.
Yeah.
And now that you are the head of Department of Mathematics, let me just say mathematics, whether it is pure or applied.
Yeah.
Okay, as the director at the center, how do you agree or otherwise, and how have you changed this mantra since assumption in office?
Yeah,
They believe that
mathematics is tough. Mathematics is difficult.
And mathematics is an aspect of technology, just like you said.
Yes.
There is no course in science and technology you study without being very good
in mathematics. Exactly.
So, what are you putting in place at the center to ensure that the students will see maths or embrace maths as a very simple course to read?
Yeah, so I'm happy that you mentioned that you love mathematics.
Seriously, I love anything that has no maths, any course. No, you have thrown me off balance, but when I see maths, I embrace it.
Yes,
I can eat and sleep with maths. I love maths.
And then I don't know what mathematics you use here in the studio. Right?
Mathematics of media. That is the right I use it.
Exactly.
I use media mathematics.
Yeah, I think it is true that many students, not just students, even graduates who have finished their studies, still have this belief that mathematics is difficult.
It's the hardest course to do.
Yeah, but as you said, in your own opinion, mathematics is simple. It's not just your opinion. I think it's a fact. Mathematics.
I think it's true.
It's simple, but now there are issues. That if not addressed, people will continue to see mathematics the way they see it, as a very, very difficult course. Now, let's start with the teachers. So maybe I should focus on the issues that the solutions are within our reach. Of course, it's multidimensional, from government and stakeholders and so many other things. But let's concentrate the one we have in our classrooms. Starting with our lecturers or our teachers. We realized that the way some of our teachers, teach students is just to enter class, without any proper introduction. They think that, I have been with these students for more than 3 years.
So they should know.
No, there should be at least an appetizer, as we enter class. You should bring up something that will stimulate, their interest in learning what you are about to teach them. So I'll give you an example. Suppose you enter class and you want to teach decimal points, in which which in 90%, what our teachers do is just by start writing the maybe definition of the problem and start giving example. No, you have to tell them first, why do you have to study decimal points? Where is it applicable? No mathematics, no matter how hard it is, that is not applicable, except if you don't know. So maybe a teacher perhaps can start by telling them that, okay, even in our petrol stations, the meter, if you look at it carefully, it reads in decimals.
Yes.
And if you want to buy fuel and you see that you want 10 liters and they give you maybe 9.73, maybe you will ask.
Definitely I will work.
So by the time you tell them that, immediately they know, wow, okay, this is something that is within our reach and we can see. So they know that studying a decimal point is very, very important, not just on paper, but also they can apply it within their surroundings. So what we have done to tackle this problem, is to start a program that we call Training the Trainers.
Great.
In the institute, in collaboration with Center for Project-Based Learning. It's a center in AUST. Project-based learning.
Okay.
This is what our president has been hammering on. He doesn't want teachers to enter class and just start teaching theory. No. It has to be project-based, which means towards the end of every course being taught by any lecturer, we have to see something tangible from the students as a project, from what they have learned in that course. So in collaboration with this CLBT and New Jersey Center for Teaching and Learning, we come up with the program I mentioned, Training the Trainers. So it's like a cascade program where you train some selected teachers in which they will go back to their schools and teach and train others.
Impacting knowledge.
Yes, exactly. So we had some pilot programs in some states in Southeast, I think including Anambra and Enugu, where we went to some Catholic schools and they are very, very good. So we select some of their teachers, we train them, and we also select some of their good students and train them, and the result was perfect in their works. They were getting series of A's. And since then, we now say, okay, maybe we should scale it up. I think the last one we did was in Ogun State. We taught 750. We trained 750 STEM teachers. Sponsored by Ogun State government in collaboration with the World Bank. It's not easy, but they saw the impact, because before then we had done similar project in the Gambia, where we also participated in training their lecturers there and their secondary school teachers. So this program, we did it in 2 phases, and the result is showing now, because if you go to Ogun State, their results in WAEC, NECO, and JAM is quite different from other neighboring southwestern states. So this is what we have done to tackle this issue. So we introduced them to new teaching pedagogies, just as I've mentioned, how you introduced a concept, and teaching shouldn't be teacher-centered, it should be student-centered, in such a way that we believe that students tend to learn more from their peers than from teachers. So instead of the teacher doing the talk for like 2 hours, you should allow the students to discuss among themselves, maybe for like 1 hour 20 minutes, and you just introduce them to the concept and you give them exercise as fun. They try among themselves. If they do not get it, they do it again, and so on and so forth. So it was a very, very successful training. Now currently we are in talks with some states in the northeast, including Adamawa, Bauchi, and one in Northwest Jigawa State. We will also go there and train a sizable number of teachers, and they will go back to their secondary schools and also train others. So I think by doing this, that's the problem you mentioned on the math phobia will be diffused a little bit. And then secondly, even within here in Abuja, we try to encourage female students in mathematics, you know, because there is fear of mathematics, but it seems like it's greater in
No, I said no to that.
I'm saying it seems. I say
No, it's not, because I take exception to that.
So we try to encourage them. So we have programs, maybe once or twice in a year. We invite you know, female students from secondary schools in Abuja. You know, we motivate them. We show them how female mathematicians have been successful, because we have had a lady from Iran that won Nobel Prize. Field medal. Field medal is the equivalent of Nobel Prize, because they don't give Nobel Prize to mathematicians. This is a long story. We had issues with physicists. It's a long story. So we only accept field medal. So that lady from Iran, she won the field medal, which is a very, very tough prize to win. You have to be below 40 and make a very, very groundbreaking, have a very groundbreaking result before you can win such prize. So we motivate them that this is something doable. People have done it before, and they have one head just like you, so you can also do it. And so we have so many programs in place at AUST, precisely Mathematics Institute, you know, to advance mathematics, not just in Nigeria, but also in Africa. So just lastly, to draw distinction, we have Mathematics Institute. We also have Department of Pure and Applied Mathematics. Department of Pure and Applied Mathematics is responsible for awarding degrees, master's, PhD, undergraduate, whatever. But Mathematics Institute is, you know, is for advancing mathematics, you know, in Nigeria, Africa, and so on and so on.
Okay. Having said that, there is no science or technology innovation that can be achieved anywhere in the world without the application of mathematics.
Yes.
What are you doing in your social, because from your explanation, it seems to me that you have a social corporate responsibility to other schools, to train other teachers across states of the Federation, which you mentioned, even in Abuja here. So what are you doing to involve maybe teachers from public tertiary institutions, as the case may be, because you agree with me that the lack of, would I say lack of welfare deficit?
Those are our colleagues. So.
The trust deficit in staff welfare or teachers' welfare, so to say, has created a lot of problems for teachers in the public school to deliver as as it ought to be. So what are you doing to correct that issue?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, you know, there are several issues, and there are ones coming that it's not ordinary citizens like me that will address them. Okay. It has to be policy makers, just as you mentioned, maybe the welfare of the lecturers. But that one aside, there is also need, you know, to train lecturers in mathematics. They are my colleagues, so we are not going to train them. It's just for them to, for us to get together and, you know,
maybe have a review.
Exactly.
Have a review and
to discuss, because the same issue that students face in secondary schools is the same that is carried over to our universities. So I think, and one way that lecturers can help to diffuse the phobia students have in mathematics, they can start by reviewing our textbooks. Because if you can see, then you should be able to understand. I don't believe that there is any person that is dull or that cannot understand mathematics. I don't believe that.
I believe the same school of thought.
Exactly. I always tell my students that, okay, you are in class now. Can you take yourself back home? They will say yes. How? Did anybody tell you that this is the route you are supposed to follow, this or that, or somebody installed the route of your house in your head? No. So if students can see, then it becomes very, very easy for them to understand mathematics. I give you a simple example. So if you want to teach primary school students fractions, like you want to teach them what a half is, or what 1/4 is, or 1/3.
Yeah.
Don't start by saying 1/2 is half. Take an apple, a whole apple, divide it into two, and you tell them that this is half. And it's just a notation, and this half is called 1/2. It's just a notation. You can call it whatever you like. Or you divide it into 3, and you tell them that one of the slices is 1/3 or 1/4, as the case may be. So these are the, I think, aspects we need to impute in our textbooks, because we have realized that our textbooks do not have enough diagrams and pictures that will make studying mathematics as easy as possible. So I think the university lecturers can help in this respect to pick, the books we have in different areas of not just mathematics, in STEM, because this is where you have much of the problem. STEM courses, chemistry, physics, and so on.
Even in agriculture.
So yeah, of course, agriculture is part of STEM technology. So you have to review these textbooks. In the institute, that is what we are doing currently.
Okay.
We make sure that if you take any textbook from AUST, it contains a lot of diagrams, a lot of images, a lot of pictures. And we try to explain...
Interesting pictures.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcoming.
Like with this apple example, I don't think there is a student that will say that, no, I don't understand what you mean by half. So these are the things we want to incorporate in our textbooks. And I believe this will revolutionize how people see and perceive mathematics. It's a very, very simple course, but you need somebody who understands it very well to teach.
Okay.
And to write good tests, which is a very difficult thing, which means also we need support from the government, because writing a textbook is not something that is easy. But I mean, we have organizations that help, like TED Fund. If you have a draft, they can help you and publish your textbook and even give you some dividends after it has been sold out.
Talking about textbooks, I remember one of my guests on the program were discussing agriculture and the problems associated with the young ones refusing to venture into agriculture. And he mentioned, he said that one of the problems, each time you pick a textbook on agriculture and you see a farmer, the farmer is looking like somebody that is mad. In the textbook, so that government should please help to advise those people that are writing books, textbooks, to put pictures that are nice interesting, pictures. Nice pictures. Smart that,
not showing somebody hanging,
cutlass and hoe and looking tattered and wretched, as if people in the agri sector
and it's the same problem we are facing in our universities now. We have interesting courses like material science and engineering at undergraduate level. But I tell you, since we started it, we have had 0 subscriptions.
Why?
Because perhaps nomenclature, or what the parents tell their children that, I want you to be...
What they see on textbooks.
Everybody cannot be a medical doctor.
No.
Everybody cannot be an engineer.
Everybody cannot be a politician.
And the most important ones, science, STEM courses, science, mathematics, physics, chemistry. If you go to developed countries, these scholarships are everywhere. If you want to study maths, it's not difficult. I did my master's and PhD on full scholarship.
Studying maths?
Yes, studying mathematics. Because why should I pay money when I'm studying mathematics? Government should be able to, support those that have decided to study these courses that we know they are not so easy, but we just mentioned how we can make them easy. But if I study mathematics, I should be treated like a king. They said if you can't become a king, you should become a mathematician. Just like you. You are a queen.
I'm a mathematician. Okay, I remember you're talking about textbooks, and I think the government or the stakeholders also have the need, or should see the necessity of changing the psyche of many people. I remember while I was reading my master's program in financial economics, you know, it's math.
Mathematics.
And there was this course called econometrics.
Yes.
A lot of people, over 300 people carried
econometrics
over. Why? Because of their belief that formulas and mathematics is very, very difficult, and without mathematics you cannot solve any problem in science and technology. I think the government need to do a lot. Now, because of our time, we won't be able to finish all our questions, but as a chairman of the university's admission committee, what are the specific qualifications criteria that one must acquire before getting admission? And the issue of cultism in all higher institutions, we all know, or we've heard, that the practice of cultism is becoming another thing entirely. What are you doing in the school to put all of this under check?
Yeah, so I'm the chairman of Students Conduct Committee, and so to start with your second question on cultism, what is prevalent in our universities, we know. So what we have done in AUST is to attack the root cause first.
Okay.
One of the things that propel cultism in our universities is drug abuse. Because if somebody is abusing drugs, you can't control him, and he's likely to join such bad groups. So what we have done at AUST, we conduct random tests.
Random tests?
Yes, drug tests.
Okay.
At any point in time, anywhere, we can select any student at random and perform such tests. And we have done that in the past, and we have found positive results in some cases. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
in your last lap, getting out of time, so I will leave you until I ask this question.
Okay.
What would be your advice to Nigerians and the government on the deployment of technology to the well-being of the society? In few seconds.
Yeah, so it is important, as you know now, AI has taken over everywhere. So what I will advise is that we invest more, because this is where the direction is now. We should invest more. You don't have to be in academia before you can promote and use AI. I believe the government is doing well through Minister of Information and Digital
Science and Technology too.
Exactly. So I think the investment we are currently doing in AI is very, very important. I think the government should continue to do so.
All right. The government should continue to invest in artificial intelligence in order to improve our technological-based courses and also to improve the economy. And with that advice, we have come to the end of today's program, The Economy and Inside Agriculture. Our guest that we have been speaking with is Dr. Abdulmalik Usman Bello. Dr. Bello is a man with many, many caps. Yeah. He is the Dean, Faculty of Science and Mathematics, African University of Science and Technology. He is also the Chairman, Admission Committee of the University.
Some of them are red caps.
Oh, some of them are red caps. Maybe next time when you are coming, you come in red cap. Doctor, we want to thank you for finding time to honor our invitation to be on the program today.
Thank you very,
And what is your
much.
wish to Nigerians to celebrate Salah?
Yeah, my wish is I hope Muslim faithfuls have a wonderful and successful Salah celebration, and they should pray for their success and development of the country. Thank you. Okay, and to our esteemed audience, we sincerely appreciate you for branching off. Join us again next time for another interesting episode of the program. I am Ile Imeje saying happy Salah.